What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews, and I'm here to take you through 8 of my best bets on this upcoming set on the NBA. But before we do that, let's recap the last video. Boom! Now, there's a whole lot of green that you're seeing on this screen. In that last video, I think I shared 9 bets with you guys. From those 9 bets, we went 7 and 2. So, an excellent day. But let's recap the whole thing. VIP, 11.36 units profit. So, absolutely killing it at the moment. 10 and 3 on straight bets. LaMelo Ball over his points prop. Jalen Brunson over his assist prop. Dame over his rebound prop. Giannis over his assists. Michael Porter Jr. over his assists at plus money to the max. Desmond Bain over his rebounds. Zach LaVine over his points. Christian Braun over his points. Campaign over his points. And Josh Giddey over his rebounds and assists. Now, there were some losers. Tari Eason over 17.5 points and rebounds. Now, he didn't get close to that. But reflecting back on it, I still think it was a good bet. He went 0 from 7 from the field, still got a lot of boards, still got a lot of steals. He still did what I expected him to do. He just missed everything. So I don't regret that at all. Jamal Murray over his assist prop. This was looking real good. Then he got poked in the eye, and then everything went downhill from there. He was well on track for 7-8 assists, in my opinion. And then one that I sent out to VIP was Tobias Harris over 6.5 rebounds. I think that was the only bad bet of the day. I don't know what I was thinking. He didn't close to it, and I hate Tobias Harris. So that's on me. That was a shit play. But the value plays, cash 3 of them. Zach LaVine, a value play at plus 400. LaMelo Ball, a value play at plus 475. And Campaign hitting 3 3-pointers, plus 310. There are still 4 uses for the code of Cup Games as well, by the way. If you're interested in checking out VIP, you'll get 40% off if you use the code Cup Games. Actually, I'll lie. There's only 3 more uses. Somebody used this after I sent this post out. But here's what I sent to VIP today. 24 bets, 11.36 units profit, a 61% return. These are the different types of bets. We were profitable in parlays, profitable in high value singles, profitable in player props, and profitable on these value plays as well. And here's the discount code Cup Games. You can see here when I sent this out, there was 4 uses left. So be sure to check that out real quick. Links in the video description below. And this is what value plays look like when I talk about it. For Zach LaVine, took him for 25 points to make more than 3-pointers, but to go under his assists and rebounds line. And LaMelo Ball took him for 35 points, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. That was easy money. And there's one for Campaign, making 3 3-pointers, turned $50 into $200. So before we get into my best bets, I actually want to give you guys a tip that I think a lot of you guys need to hear. And the reason I say this is check my YouTube comments today. There was a lot of people who went off nice and early. After the first quarter for the majority of these games, I heard what? The picks are trash. His picks aren't good. LaMelo can't shoot, yada, 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 right? And if that's how you're actually feeling after seeing one quarter of a game, that you feel the need to have to go on and leave comments about it, it's concerning to me. Because one thing you have to keep in mind is when we make these selections, we base it on their performance over the full game, what we think is going to happen by the end of the game. A lot of people are firing off comments real quick after the first quarter, meaning that you think they need to hit a certain number by the first quarter or by halftime in order to cash the bet. It doesn't work that way. Just because a player needs 20 points doesn't mean they have to score 5 points in every single quarter. That's not how you track your bets. Just leave things. Honestly, sit back, relax, and just let it play out. All right. I don't mind if you guys come back to the video when the bet's already done. And if they lose, go for your life. Hammer me in the comments. I deserve it. If the pick's bad, I'm going to own it. But if after a quarter into the game, things aren't looking good, there's no need to get upset about it. Just ride it out and just wait. This is a long game. And if we do lose, we got to learn how to handle our L's. That's enough stuffing around. If you want to check out my VIP, the link for that's in the video description below. If not, enjoy these free picks, baby. I'm giving out more than anybody else. Now let's go. Now we're jumping into props madness. This is my go-to tool for NBA player props. It's the reason why we're doing so well as a late. The data, the more it gets, the better this tool gets. And you guys have to check this out. There's a 7-day free trial if you want to use props madness. Plus, you'll get 25% off if you use the code DAFT when you sign up. So be sure to check that out. Now, looking through the games today, I've got to be completely honest with you guys. When I went through them, I was like, I don't like that, don't like that, don't like that. I can honestly say this. I tend to look for really bad teams and I look for good players in good matchups against those bad teams. That's typically how I get a lot of my bets down. Today, it took a little bit more extra research and initially didn't love what I found. Then I did some digging and I managed to find 8 bets that I was willing to throw down. I do have 8 bets that I'm going to share with you, but you know I'm all about giving you more value. After all the 8 bets are done, I'll give you leans on 4 different bets as well that I was very close to taking, and I'll take you through the reasons why. So we're kicking things off with this Timberwolves versus Celtics game. It's a real interesting one. I think it's going to be a great game to watch. Unfortunately, your boy's got to go to work. This game starts at 7:30 a.m. I'm ready on my trip to work, so I'm not going to be able to see it, but I'll be checking those box scores throughout the day. Shh, don't tell the employer. But what's the bet that I have in this game? I've actually got 2 that I've already got down. The very first one, we're looking at Jaylen Brown in this one. And I do like his over in his rebounds plus assists. So we're looking at 9.5. Now, his cash is at a very high rate this season. 9 out of 12 games, averaging 11.5 rebounds and assists per game. The one hesitation I had initially, this Minnesota team, top 4 in terms of assists allowed and top 5 in terms of rebounds allowed, meaning they don't give too many rebounds and assists, right? So that makes me a little bit cautious. They do play on the slower side of things, bottom 10 in the league in terms of pace, and the Celtics very similar. But Jaylen Brown has been collecting a lot of these rebounds and assists regardless of the matchup. If we play with props madness here, we can actually filter things down to see where he gets a similar matchup. If we exclude the bottom 15 teams in assists allowed and the bottom 15 teams in rebound chances. Actually, he's only played the top 15. How interesting. But even if we just look at the assists allowed, we make the fucking hell. What's wrong with me? I got Tourette's or something. Apologies. We play around with the filters. These are the teams that don't allow too many assists. But the reality here is Jaylen Brown's still been eating this number up. 5 out of 6 games against these teams who don't apparently allow too many assists. Jaylen Brown's been making it happen anyway. Now, another thing I like about this play for Jaylen Brown is if we look at his numbers against Minnesota last season. Now, you can go back further. I think the further you go, the less relevant the data is, if I'm being honest with you guys. But he performed very well. The 2 games last season, 11 rebounds and assists, followed up with 14 rebounds and assists. Now, if I had to pick one, it would probably be his rebounds. His rebound numbers against Minnesota, I think it's 7 consecutive games he's hit his rebounds line. If we look at this season, he's been hitting his rebounds line quite well, 9 out of 12 games, lines at 5.5. He has finished on 6 quite a bit, though. That'll make me a little bit nervous, which means this is probably going to be a sweat for you. But the assists, I love what I'm seeing as a late from Jaylen Brown in terms of the assist market. His potential assist numbers are fantastic. I'm happy to move that ball around, and we're paying dividends here. So I do like both his assist prop and his rebound prop. I think putting them together is a safer pick, in my opinion. So I took his over in rebounds and assists. It's at 9.5. The other play that I took within this game is on Anthony Edwards. And I'm actually taking it under here on Anthony Edwards. Looking at under 4.5 assists for him. Now, he's gone over this in only 4 out of 15 games. So he's gone under it almost 75% of the time. And he's got a tough matchup here against the Boston Celtics, who don't allow too many assists. Top 10 in terms of assists allowed. So they're not allowing too many. Now, using Props Madness, we can muck around with this and remove the bottom 15 teams in terms of assists allowed to get an ideal matchup and check it out. When Anthony Edwards plays these teams that don't allow too many assists, we can see that he's gone under in every single game. 0 out of 5 games he's gone over, and he's averaging 2.8 assists in these types of matchups. With Boston, they're happy to let Anthony Edwards play one-on-one with Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, whoever it is. They're happy to let him play one-on-one, and I don't think they're going to force too many assists out. So I do like the under there. 4.5 for Anthony Edwards. 5.5 would have loved to death, but 4.5 is the best number we're going to get. But that's the second pick that I've got for you guys. Now, the next one, the Wizards versus the Pacers. Now, the total for this game's at like 243 or something, right? What is it? 242.5, which means the books are expecting a ton of points, right? Which means there's probably a lot of opportunity here. I went through this game and I honestly couldn't find anything that I liked. So I just feel like anybody could be contributing from these teams, but who's actually going to cover their own lines? That I was a little bit uncertain of. There are probably a lot of people, but I might make a call on that closer to the game. But for now, I know Jordan Poole's a game time decision, and that leaves me a little bit hesitant. There's also a blowout factor that you need to consider here. The Wizards, 11.5 point underdogs. So no bets on that Wizards versus Pacers game just yet, but don't worry, I got you covered. Next one is the Clippers versus the 76ers. Now, there's one thing I want to call out in this game. I'm not taking this as a bet, right? But James Harden points prop, but it's more so his points prop. His points prop's at 24.5. He's gone under this in 15 out of 17 games. Now, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter blowing up around like this line doesn't make any sense. So everybody's hammering the under. But people are hammering the under because they're probably just basing things off hit rate. The one thing that I know is it's not like one sports book has this at 24.5. Every single one of them has them at 24.5, which means they know something. Right? So I'm not betting the under just because the hit rate's great on this. This seems a little bit fishy to me. I know the matchup's not ideal for James Harden to score some points, but I don't understand why the line's at 24.5. Norm Powell's not out, but he's been out for the last 2 games. He's only scored 24 and 22 points. I think the line should be around there, but we're seeing it at 24.5. My initial feeling is to bet the under, but this seems really suspicious to me, so I'm not going to go near it. If you have any opinions on James Harden and his points prop, let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. But let's get to the bet that I have in this game, and it's on Tyrese Maxey. Looking at another under here, and I'm looking at an under in his rebounds and assists. Now, the line's at 8.5. You can get that at 8.5 everywhere. He's hit the under in 6 out of 9 games this season. He's averaging 6.9 rebounds and assists per game. Now, he's up against the Clippers. He faced the Clippers a couple of weeks ago, and that was his lowest rebounds and assist total of the season. He finished with 1 rebound, 1 assist. Only 2 rebound chances and 4 potential assists, right? So even if he had a 100% hit rate on those rebound chances and potential assists, he still goes under this line. Now, as the Clippers, top 3 in terms of assists allowed and rebounds allowed, top 5 defensive rating. So the matchup, difficult one here for Tyrese Maxey. We look at his last game against the Brooklyn Nets. He finished with 9 rebounds and assists. He had 6 rebound chances, got 4 boards. He had 12 potential assists, and he got 5 assists. So we're looking at 18 total rebound and potential assists, and he converted that at about 50%. I think that is a real outlier. He hasn't got that many potentials or rebounds many times this season. I think he's had it actually twice. He's had 18 twice, and that was against the Bucks and the Nets. Up against the Clippers here, I don't think he's going to get the same opportunities in terms to get assists, and I don't think he sees the same rebound chances. So I'm happy to take the under here on Tyrese Maxey. Rebounds and assists, 8.5. Now, looking at actually staying in this game, I got one other bet, and it's on Zubac. Now, Zubac's been a sneaky little wagon for me to bet on, and it's been on this. It's been on his assist prop. His assist line is at 1.5, and it's a plus money play here. I do like the over here for Zubac. He's been cashing it well as of late. The last 4 games, he's gone over this line. Now, his potential assist numbers are not sky high, but with no Norm Powell in the lineup, we're seeing Zubac in a lot of handoff action. This 76ers team also going to want to limit him down in the post, so we're going to get some kickouts. We're going to get some offensive rebounds. He's going to be passing that shit out too, and we're only going to get 2 assists here. I bet this last time in the Kings game. I actually bet on him to get 3 in that Kings game. He finished with 4, which was huge. But looking at his last game against Philly, he had 3 assists in that game too. Only 4 potentials, and I'm backing Zubac to do it again. They don't have many weapons on this Clippers team, and Zubac's going to get a whole lot of touches. There's going to be a lot of handoffs. It's not going to look like an assist, but I know he's going to get credited for it. So that's another bet that I have down. I'd forgive you if you don't choose to ride that one. That makes total sense to me. But it's a risk that I'm willing to pay. It's plus money, and we only need 2 assists here from Zoo against a team. He's done it before, and he's done it in 4 consecutive games straight. So I do like Zoo there. Now, heading over to the Dallas Mavericks versus the Miami Heat. Firstly, I got no bets on the Miami Heat players purely because they've got a few game time decisions. I think Jimmy's a game time decision, and I think somebody else is as well. So I've got nothing on Miami as of yet. I might get one closer to the game. But I do have 2 on the Dallas Mavericks. Actually 3. 2 different players, 3 different bets. The first one we're looking at is Kyrie Irving. Now, we've got no Luka Doncic here for Dallas. And what that means is when Luka's out, Kyrie's line skyrocket. His points line, not so much. It's only gone up 1 or 2 points. But his assist line, through the roof. His assist line's at 7.5, right? And it makes sense. No Luka. Someone's got to handle the ball, and Kyrie will do that. Kyrie's not the type of player to make the final pass. He'll make the short pass, the easy pass. He'll get a lot of hockey assists. Now, 7.5. Without Luka, how many games has he played this season? I think it's been only 2. 2 games without Luka. Yeah. 1 against OKC, 1 against Denver. He had 6 assists in both of those games. Now, when it comes to assists allowed, OKC, that's a tough matchup. They don't allow too many assists. Denver, on the other hand, allow a ton. The second most assists in the league they allow. In that game, Kyrie only had 6 assists, only 10 potential assists in that game. So with those types of potentials, in order for him to get 8 assists here against Miami, who's a better defensive team than the Denver Nuggets, I don't think it happens. So I'm happy to take Kyrie under 7.5 assists here. I know he's my boy. He is my favorite player after all, but I think this assist line is way too high. So happy to take the under there for Kyrie Irving. My next player, I've got 2 here for PJ Washington. And the very first one, we're looking at rebounds. And I might as well leave the without Luka Doncic filter on, because these are the 2 games PJ Washington has had without Luka Doncic. He's had 30 rebounds in those 2 games, averaging 15 rebounds a game, 17 against OKC, 13 against the Denver Nuggets, up against a Miami Heat team that doesn't rebound very well. They actually allow the 6th most rebounds in the league this season. I was going to take Derek Lively potentially for his rebounds, but Derek Lively attempts to block everything. He doesn't often find himself in good rebounding position, whereas PJ Washington gets a lot of those easy boards that Luka would normally get. PJ's getting all of them. So I do like PJ Washington to go over his rebound lines at 7.5. Props Madness, letting me know that similar types of players, they've covered their rebound line against the Miami Heat as well. So I do like PJ Washington to keep doing what he has been doing without Luka this season and just grab some rebounds. If you look at the starting lineup for this Dallas Mavericks team, they don't necessarily have strong rebounders within them. Kyrie's not grabbing a ton of rebounds. Quentin Grimes not grabbing a lot of rebounds. Klay Thompson's not grabbing a lot of rebounds. It kind of leaves PJ Washington and Derek Lively as your go-to guys. And I'll show you Derek Lively's numbers without Luka Doncic. Check this out. 5 and 6 rebounds in the 2 games with Luka out of the lineup. His line's at 7.5. I get it. Makes sense. Miami gives up a lot of rebounds to centers. But Derek Lively just ain't that guy when it comes to getting some boards. PJ Washington's been eating them up as of late, and I'm hoping that trend continues. Now, my next play is also in PJ Washington, and I'm looking to take his first quarter points prop. I took it in the last game, and I'm taking it again. Check this out. In the first quarter, the 2 games without Luka, 13 points against OKC. Now, that is an outlier. He's 3 from 3 from downtown, got to the free throw line, and also made some other buckets, right? Not expecting that. But I'm expecting him to make at least 2 shots. Against the Denver Nuggets, he played 8 minutes. He attempted 5 shots. He made 3 of those suckers. So with that type of volume, if he's going to attempt 5 of them, I like our chances here for PJ Washington to make 2 against this Miami Heat squad. So I do like his over in his first quarter points prop and his overall rebounds prop. Now, looking into the Raptors versus the Cavs. Now, I'm just checking to see, do I have a bet on this or was this just a lean? I don't have a bet on this. I got a lean on that game. I ultimately didn't take it. But the last game is the Brooklyn Nets versus Sacramento Kings, and I do have one bet that I've already put down in this game. I also have a lean, and I'll take you through that in a moment. But looking at my man, Ben Simmons. I'm looking to take an under on Ben Simmons today. And I'm looking at his rebounds, under 6.5 rebounds for Ben Simmons. Now, he's gone under this in 9 out of 12 games this season, averaging 5.9 rebounds per game. The problem with Ben, his rebound chances aren't necessarily high. He's up against a Sacramento Kings team that is 7th in terms of rebounds allowed, meaning they don't allow too many rebounds. And Ben Simmons, I question whether he's going to get the minutes, whether he's going to get the rebound chances. Now, he's averaging less than 9 rebound chances per game. And if you run the 50% rule on that, he's probably going to get 4.5, 4 to 5 rebounds in this game based off those rebound chances. Hell, he might have a good game and he might get 6. But this Sacramento Kings team, very good rebounding team. Ben Simmons hasn't been seeing the opportunities. So I'm just happy to take the under here. It just makes a lot of sense to me. I did consider his points prop, not going to lie. Taking the under on his points prop, and that's purely because Ben Simmons scores all of his points under the basket. This Sacramento Kings team, number 1 in the league in terms of limiting points at the basket. So tough matchup, but the line's only at 5.5. Ben Simmons just has to make a couple of shots. Well, it's 3 shots really, and that could be difficult for someone like Ben Simmons. But that's another lean that I have. But I think taking the under in his rebound prop is the way to go. So those are my 8 bets, but don't go anywhere. I've got more value to give you. I've got 4 more leans. Now I need you to help me and subscribe to the channel. Like the video if you haven't already, and drop me a comment down below. You can say anything in there for the algorithm. It helps get this video out to more people, and I believe more people need to see it. We hit 13,000 subscribers not too long ago. I think it was yesterday or the day before. That was happening real quick in the last 2 days. Sorry, I said 2 days. Hopefully I don't offend anybody. But in the last 2 days, a ton of subscribers walked through the door, hit over 13,000. So let's celebrate. We made it. That's another milestone, baby. Next stop, 14,000. Let's help your boy get there. So subscribe to the channel. And if you want to throw your support my way, I need you to sign up to these guys right here. These are my partners. And if you sign up with them and you make your first deposit, they give me a nice little kickback. So it's a great way to support your favorite creator out here, trying to get out of the hood myself. And if you sign up with these guys and make a $10 deposit, they're going to pay me a little bit of money as well. Chalkboard, parlay play, rebet, dabble, better, and boom fantasy. Take your pick. I've got links in the video description for all of them. You know what? As a bonus, if you sign up with one of these guys and you make your first deposit, send me a screenshot either by email, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it is, and I'll give you a month of my VIP picks for free. There's what I'm going to do to sweeten the deal. So check these guys out. I appreciate you guys for helping me. Now, let me take you through a couple of leans because you might be interested in betting on them. If that sounds interesting, let's go. All right, we're heading to the first game. Now, the lean that I had in this one was Rudy Gobert, and I was looking at taking him for a double-double. Now, it's a plus money play, and he's had a double-double in four consecutive games now. And he's up against a Boston Celtics team that, Al Horford might be out. So they're going to be running Cornette and what's that young fella's name? Quenta, whatever his name is. They're going to run some inexperienced bigs at the 5 spot. As of late, recently, they've been torn up. Jakob Poeltl gave him a big game. Clint Capella gave him a big game. Rebound-wise, Boston Celtics been a little bit loose down there, and I think Rudy Gobert can have a big game. The only reason I didn't take Rudy Gobert for a double-double is because I don't like him, right? Yeah. But the numbers, it all makes sense. The numbers are great for Rudy Gobert to get a double-double. I can't put my feelings aside for this one. I just don't like him. But if you want to bet on Rudy Gobert double-double, go for your life. I think the data is great. The matchup is fantastic. He's going to have his opportunities here. Go ahead. The next one, what's the next lean that I have? It's in the Clippers versus 76ers, and it's for Amir Coffee. So I was very close to betting Amir Coffee over his points prop here. The line's at 10.5. He's hit this in 8 of 17 games. But the reason why I like this is because since he's been moved into the starting lineup with Norm Powell out, he's covered this line in both games. 18 points against the Orlando Magic, which is a difficult matchup. Then 11 points against the Sacramento Kings. He was 5 from 9, only 1 from 4 from deep. Now, he sees the Philadelphia 76ers today, and the matchup's not too bad. He scores in transition. Philly, average. He scores from above the break. Philly, average. I feel like he's going to get his opportunities here. If he can get 10 shots off, I think he can get the 10.5 points. So I do like his over. He's averaging 14.5 points without Norm Powell. The reason why I didn't bet it, there's not a big enough sample size. It's only 2 games without Norman Powell. I do think he goes over, but I needed to be a bit more sure. Maybe a bit more data. Maybe if he kills it in this game, then I'm like, all right, next time we're jumping on Amir Coffee. But for this particular time, I couldn't get to it, although I do like the look. Now, my next lean is in that Cleveland Cavaliers game versus the Toronto Raptors, and it was on Evan Mobley. Now, Evan Mobley, I noticed this, a couple of videos ago. When you look at his first quarter points prop, there's an amazing trend between what he does home versus away. Just let me show you the numbers. When he's on the road, he's under this in 7 consecutive games, averaging 2.8 points per game in the first quarter, right? So struggles on the road. But when he's at home, check this out. He's over in 7 out of 8 games, averaging 6.4 points per game in the first quarter. And the crazy thing is at home, his volume is crazy. Like he's taking like 5 to 6 shots in the first quarter when he plays in Cleveland. And he's up against the Toronto Raptors. And I believe they're playing in Cleveland today. So I do lean to the over there for Evan Mobley. He's got a really good matchup. This Toronto Raptors team giving up points in the paint. Evan Mobley scoring 84% of his points are there. So I do like his over. The first quarter points props have burnt me a little bit. If this was at 3.5, I'd be all over it. At 4.5, we need him to hit a 3-pointer, or he needs to make 3 buckets or get to the free throw line. And look, I do think he goes over, but I wasn't desperate enough to push all this stuff out. I might just add Evan Mobley to one of my parlays, perhaps. But in terms of throwing a full unit down, I couldn't get there for Evan Mobley. But I do like the look. I think he can go over that first quarter points prop. And then the last lean that I have is in this Brooklyn Nets game versus Sacramento Kings. And I'm looking at Cam Johnson over 18.5 points. Now, he scored 30-plus points in 2 consecutive games, 34 and 37 points, which is absolutely crazy. Now, he finds himself up against the Sacramento Kings, and he's got an ideal matchup. Cam Johnson scoring 29% of his points as a spot up shooter. This Sacramento Kings team is dead last in the league. He also shoots his points. He scores a lot of his points from above the break, 46% of them above the break. This Sacramento Kings team, bottom 5 in defending the perimeter above the break. So you can see it right here in this graph. The Kings just don't allow layups. Outside of that, it's it's free money. So Cam Johnson's going to got a lot of good looks. He's got a great matchup to go over his points prop here. If I'm being honest with you, I probably won't bet the 18.5. I might just lay a little bit on him to get 25 and 30, perhaps. See if he can maintain what he has been doing. But Cam Johnson, that's another look that I have. I was very close to betting on it. My only concern here is that he's had 2 games with 30 plus points. Like these are complete outliers, right? You can't expect 30 plus points from Cameron Johnson in 3 straight games. I'm surprised he did it once, but now he's done it twice in a row. Can he do it for a third? Probably not. But, don't let that deter you. I think it's a great matchup here for Cam Johnson. He's going to get a lot of shots up. So, yeah, I might take a play at 25 and 30, but I haven't made a decision on that just yet. So that's a wrap on today's video, lads. Be sure to like the video, subscribe if you have not already. Best of luck to us. We're going to eat today, I hope. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.